friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I have a brand new dragon friend with me today named Dewey, and Dewey is actually really special because Dewey was handmade and gifted to me by one of our fabulous library patron families, and I just absolutely love him so much, and he was so excited to be a part of this video today, especially when I told him what this book was about, because it has a very magical fantasy feel to it. So this book is really special. It actually just came out recently, like the very beginning of this month, and it is so incredible that I couldn't wait to share it with you. I was able to read it a little bit ahead of time because I got a copy at that library conference I went to back in June. So I am really excited that this book is now out in the world and that other people can enjoy it and love it as much as I do. So this book is called The Library of Unruly Treasures by Jeanne Birdsall. The Library of Unruly Treasures. Now, when I caught a glimpse of this book, I didn't pay any attention to who the author was, or I didn't even read the back of it to read anything that it was about. I just saw that the word library was in it, and I mean, obviously, right? I had to grab it. So I was really excited, almost tickled pink, when I found out that this book, Jeanne Birdsall, the author, she is the author of the Penderwick series, and this is her first book that she's written since writing that series. And she spent like 20 years writing books in that world and in that series. So this is the first one that is going to be completely different. And that is just so incredible and magical. So this book is definitely more of a middle grade book, I would say, rather than like a straight out YA book. But I think anyone of any age can enjoy it because it's really fun and just downright amazing. So this book is about a girl named Gwen, who her parents are, well, they're pretty awful actually. So her mom doesn't ever have time for her. She's always off gallivanting on these different adventures. And her dad keeps basically wanting to change who she is and doesn't really care for her too much. And they're always foisting her off on each other for different reasons. So Gwen is not at all surprised when they decide this one summer to send her to her Uncle Matthew's for a couple weeks while they are both off doing their own thing. Now, Gwen has never met this uncle before, so she should be like, you know, nervous and apprehensive, and she's a little nervous because she is definitely a shy kid, but she's more anticipating what this is going to be like. But this whole visit turns into something she could have never imagined. So first of all, there is a dog in this story named Pumpkin who is the best dog ever, and no one can convince me otherwise, and I love her so much. She's such a dynamic character. She's Matthew's dog in the book, and her and Gwen just bond immediately, and I live for Pumpkin. I would do anything for Pumpkin. I love her so much. So when Gwen arrives in Boston and she's with her, she meets her uncle, who is kind and wants to know all about her and makes food for her, and they start cleaning up his garden together and they start working together outside, and she finds that this place is starting to feel like a home more than she's ever really had before, because her parents are always moving around, that she's never stayed in one place for too long, and she's never felt like she belonged anywhere or with anyone until she meets Matthew and Pumpkin and starts to stay there with them. But this is not just a story of discovering where you belong and family and found family and things like that. No. Like I said in the beginning, this is a little bit of a magical story too. Because in the local library, which is named after her, a ancestor, right, that she never even knew about, she finds that she is actually a part of an even bigger experience than what she originally anticipated. So there are these little creatures called Lundekin, and they basically, I don't want to call them fairies because they would get very mad at me if they heard me say that, but they're basically like little creatures that look like people with wings, and they have blue hair. And basically, they are part of this tribe called the Lundekin, and they live in the library, but the only people that can see them are little kids. Because when you become, you know, an adult, you stop believing in magic. I mean, unless you're me, right? But I'd probably be able to see them. But all bragging aside, most adults are not able to see them. So it's a surprise when they reach out to Gwen, and Gwen is able to see them and talk with them. And they tell her that her family is a line of protectors and ambassadors for this clan of creatures, and they need her help because they need to find a new home. They're going to be doing some renovations and work on the library, and they need a new place to stay, and Gwen has to help them. But Gwen feels that she's totally unequipped for something like this. She's shy, she's short for her age, she doesn't feel particularly brave or daring or any of the things that she needs to be able to help her newfound friends. So this book is all about not only Gwen coming into her own and learning how to be herself and love herself and let other people love her, but it's also about her finding the courage to be able to help these little creatures in their time of need. I loved everything about this book. I remember reading a couple of the Penderwick books like a long time ago, and I really enjoyed them, but this book was just so much fun. And I'm not just saying that because there is a library in it, although I did love that there was a library in it. This book was just really fun, and it was just entertaining, and the writing was really good, and it was just a really cute story. I loved it so much, and I think there's a lot to love here in this book, and I think you will love it too. So give this one a shot, The Library of Unruly Treasures. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope this book sounds really fun and awesome, and that it's something you want to check out. If so, please feel free to come and get it from Farmington Community Library. And also, thank you so very much for watching, friends, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.